condos details. Big development here is that CGI is lambasting at these farmer union leaders, lawyers for casting aspersions on these committee members by saying that how can you brand someone like this? How can you not trust the Supreme Court? At the same time, what Supreme Court CGI is now saying that how can you cast aspersions on committee members? You people cast aspersions on people without knowing things. Very important point here is that people cannot be branded like this. People should have opinions. Even the best judges have the opinions on these matters. These committee members have openly spoken about amendments that are required in these laws, and at the same time CGI is mentioning about the fact that these committee members have openly spoken about this, and this has now become a cultural thing now, branding people you don't want as biased. He's also adding about the fact that the lawyers should know that the norms that are followed in the appointment of a committee and selection of members, where is bias in this? Asking CGI, just because a person has expressed the opinions, you brand them according to what you want. At the same time, CGI is saying nobody is forcing you to appear before the committee, but you cannot brand people like this, and you cannot cast aspersions on the court. This is what CGI is saying. Remember that CGI had formed a 4-members committee, and a massive controversy had erupted after the Kisan union leaders had decided not to appear before Supreme Court, and now CGI is saying, okay, it's your wish. You don't want to appear before Supreme Court's committee, then you don't wish. But you cannot brand people like this. How can you do this? There are some certain questions. Those are now being asked by Chief Justice of India, who is right now, hearing the matter. Also, he's mentioning about the fact that he's very sorry to see the kinds of opinions that those have been expressed about the Supreme Court. He's also saying that have you come across people where they have expressed their opinion and after being better informed, they have changed it? Men of integrity are always open to challenging their opinions on having heard the other side. He's also adding the fact that we cannot understand how the reputation of Supreme Court appointed committee can be torn to shreds like this. Very big comment coming in as to how Supreme Court appointed committee can be questioned and how the reputation can be questioned by these leaders. Remember that since beginning they had made it very clear, the farmers had made it very clear that these members are biased, and now Supreme Court is asking how can you decide this? How can you brand someone like this? Everyone can have opinions, and in fact, these members are the members who have openly vouched for the amendments in these farm laws, and this is what the government has also been saying, that if there is something which these farmer leader wants to have discussed or amend, then they should come on table, they should talk. But the farmer leaders had categorically said that they do not want to become the part of committee, they will not appear before committee. Also, let me tell you that before I toss it back to you, there is a movement also taking place. If Vivek can pan his camera, we will try to show you a few pictures also. We are seeing that a few farmer leaders have already started arriving here, and the meeting is all set to begin at around 2 p.m. Before that, we are seeing few farmer leaders who have already arrived here. Rakesh ticket can be seen, and there are some more farmer leaders who have come here. Let me straight away try to ask from them as to why they are not appearing before the committee. There are some farmer leaders, those have already started arriving here. We'll talk to them also. We'll try to understand from them as to why it is happening. On that, if Vivek can zoom in, you can see that Rakesh ticket has come and few Kisan leaders have started arriving here. We'll try to talk to them the moment they reach here at the gates. But Supreme Court right now is, taking on these farmer leaders as to how can they cast aspersions. Everyone can have opinions, everyone can express their opinion, but it doesn't mean that they will be biased. And how can these people be branded like this? At around 2 p.m., remember, the government is going to hold talks with these farmer leaders, and before that, they have started arriving here, and the security apparatus is at place. There are few leaders of which I can see they are now coming here. They are also getting themselves registered, and before that, security check is also being done. So that's the word now. Right now, two important things going on. Government is also to hold talks, and before that, Supreme Court is now listing
the Supreme Court has decided to keep the tractor march issue aside and has put the onus on the Delhi police, that it is up to the Delhi police to decide how the police takes this forward, how they want to contain the law and order situation in the national capital on the Republic Day parade. And on the other hand, also in a strongly worded observation, the CGI has made it very clear that the CGI sees no reason for any of these Supreme Court appointed panelists to be maligned. And what has been done by the farmer union leaders since the past so many days, ever since the panel was constituted, is extremely uncalled for. Anuj, my colleague, joining us from outside Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar's residence, is also joining us live on the broadcast. Anuj, before I take this across to Madhurima and really understand what the farmer union leaders will do now, what is the government strategy looking like? In an hour from now, the next round of talks is all set to begin. Supreme Court certainly now, making some scathing observations, and that could certainly impact the ongoing talks that are set to take place in a few minutes from now.
Oh, well, exactly. This was the very important argument in the Supreme Court, what we have seen just now. And from now, this is going to be at the Vigyan Bhavan when the ministers and the farmers leaders will be talking. I'll give a view of Narendra Singh Tomar residence also, because what we have been told, he just entered into the residence. So we'll also try and take in word from Narendra Singh Tomar if it is possible. On the other hand, when we are talking about this particular meeting, then yes, this is going to be very important today. This is going to be the 10th round of the meeting, and the government view is very much clear from the day one. They are making it very much clear what all are the factors that is there in the laws, and they are making it very much clear that what exactly could be done and cannot be done. But whereas the government has also made it very much clear that there are some people with the different ideology who are trying to take this agitation forward, who are trying to continue with this particular agitation. But on the other hand, the Prime Minister himself has made it very much clear that this is in the favor of the farmers. What exactly are there in the laws? This has been told by a Prime Minister, also by the Government of India ministers also. On the other hand, this was none other but Amit Shah, the Home Minister of the country, who also held a meeting with the farmer union leaders. So this is going to be again very important, but we have to keep in mind the larger picture, and this exactly says when we talk about the last 9 rounds. So there is a hope. That is why this particular talk is scheduled for the day. There is the hope within both the faction, whether being it the government side or whether being it the farmer side. They are also having some kind of hope that we can sit on the table and settle down the issue. On the other hand, this is going to be important, seeing the 26th January tractor rally also. So all these points need to be settled down today. All these points will be discussed today in the meeting, and this is obviously going to be wait and watch game what exactly will be coming out from Vigyan Bhavan. But yes, again a very important meeting scheduled at 2 p.m. from now, and we are waiting for the same, that what exactly will be coming out from the same.
Yes. Let's quickly go across to Madhurima as well. Madhurima, you've been listening into the farmers since early this morning. Some of them are now reaching Vigyan Bhavan. They've been saying that they have said that it's a complete no from their side. They will not be holding talks with the Supreme Court appointed panel, to which the top court has now replied. Some scathing observations made by the CGI, wherein it says everyone is entitled to an opinion. That doesn't mean that you will, judge all of those members who have been appointed by the Supreme Court. They've been appointed for a reason. All of them are, experts from the agricultural fields. All of them are there to only put out the grievances of those who have been affected by these farm laws. Are we expecting certain changes in the way these farmers, take this forward now?
Well, it would not be a less than miracle if that happens, Christine, because since day one, and even I spoke to them this morning, they were categorically very rigid when it came to, either the repealment of the law or participating in conversation with the committee.
Yes. Madhurima, I'm going to let you complete that in a bit. Need to quickly go across to Piyush, Madhurima, because there's a lot of movement that's taking place outside the Vigyan Bhavan, where talks are about to begin in about an hour from now. Piyush, what are you picking up?
So he's also leading talks with the government. He's one of the farmer union leaders who has now reached here. Let me try to talk to him about what Supreme Court is also saying, and also the tractor march which they have proposed. Sir, 26 तारीख को ट्रैक्टर मार्च होना है. सुप्रीम कोर्ट में सुनवाई चल रही है. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बहुत बड़ी बातें कही हैं कि आप लोग कमेटी के सामने नहीं जाना चाहते हो कि ठीक है, आपकी इच्छा, आप मत जाइए. लेकिन आप किसी को ऐसे कैसे कह सकते हैं कि वो बायस है? उनके अपने ओपिनियंस हो सकते हैं कि हाँ अमेंडमेंट सही है या उसमें बदलाव होना चाहिए. उनके हर आदमी के अपने ओपिनियन होना चाहिए. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बोला है कि ये एक कल्चर बन गया है कि आपको कोई पसंद नहीं है तो उनको आप किस तरह से भी आप कुछ भी बोल सकते हैं. क्या कहेंगे आप?
नहीं, हाँ, ये बात तो सरकार कही थी. जब से सरकार पहले से बात करी थी एक कमेटी बना लें, हमारा भी ये था, और कमेटी की बात थी बनाने की, बिल लाने से पहले कबड्डी बनाई जाती है इसके अंदर। आप 65 करोड़ लोगों के लिए कोई कानून ला रहे हो, उनसे पूछना हक आपको बनता है। जब इस देश के अंदर इंडस्ट्री पॉलिसी बनती है तो चैम्बर ऑफ कॉमर्स की मीटिंग बुलाई जाती है, फिक्की की मीटिंग बुलाई जाती है, प्राइम मिनिस्टर की मीटिंग अटेंड करते हैं, उनसे पूछा जाता है बताइए क्या बोल चाहते हो आप 65 करोड़ लोगों के लिए कोई नीति ला रहे हैं, आप उसे पूछोगे नहीं क्या?
बात बड़ी है। बात इसमें यह मैं महत्वपूर्ण आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने किसानों के जो वकील हैं, किसान उनके जो वकील हैं प्रशांत भूषण दुष्यंत दवे से उनसे यह बात पूछी है कि आप कैसे किसी के ऊपर कोई भी आरोप लगा सकते हैं, किसी को भी अपने हिसाब से आप कुछ भी कैसे बोल सकते हैं। ये कहीं ना कहीं दर्शाता है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट के द्वारा अपॉइंट किए गए वो मेंबर्स थे और सुप्रीम कोर्ट चाहती थी कि वो कमेटी के सामने सब आदमी आए और अपनी बात रखें। अगर आपको नहीं जाना आप मत जाइए, लेकिन आप किसी को ये कैसे कह सकते हैं वो बायस है। आप ये कैसे बोल रहे हैं बिना उनसे बात किए?
4 लोग कबड्डी थी, एक ने स्वयं रिजाइन कर दिया। क्या बोला उन्होंने?
उन्होंने तब रिजाइन किया सर जब लगातार ये बोलता गया कि वो बायस है, वो बायस है।
उन्होंने क्या बोला? उन्होंने स्पष्ट कहा मैं किसानों के साथ हूँ और मैं किसानों के साथ खड़ा होऊंगा। इसका मतलब साफ है, उनका जो कहना था इसका मतलब किसानों के विरोध में बिल है, वो साफ कर चुके। एक मेंबर कर चुके साहब आपके सामने। जब कमेटी के मेंबर ही बात साफ कर रहे हैं हम किसानों के साथ हैं, मैं अपनी स्टेट के साथ हूँ और बिल जो है उनका मैं किसान जो कह रहे हैं वो बात सही है, तो फिर ये बात तो क्लियर हो जाती है
ना। उनको सुने आप कैसे बोल सकते हैं कि वो बायस्ड है?
उन्होंने साफ कर दिया मेंबर ने, वो कह रहे हैं कि मैं किसान साथ हूँ और हम कह रहे हैं बिल गलत है और सीधी बात है बिल गलत है।
आपको नहीं लगता कि आपको जाना चाहिए था, एटलीस्ट उनकी बात सुननी चाहिए थी, वो कमेटी के सामने जाना चाहिए था?
हम पहले दिन से कहते आ रहे हैं, ये कोई सरकार ने की थी हमारे साथ, कमेटी बना लें हमने सरकार को कहा था ये मुद्दा कमेटी का नहीं है। जिस तरीके से आप हमारे बिना पूछे पार्लियामेंट बिल लेकर आए, लॉकडाउन लेकर आए पार्लियामेंट बिल, उस तरीके से प्रक्रिया कहते हैं उसको वापस ले आए।
कहीं ना कहीं सुप्रीम कोर्ट का उल्लंघन नहीं है सर, क्योंकि कमेटी उनके द्वारा बनाई गई है।
हमने सुप्रीम कोर्ट उल्लंघन नहीं किया इस देश में। उल्लंघन कौन करता पता आपको? आपको एक बात याद होगी, सबरीमाला को लेकर जजमेंट दिया सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कि 40 साल तक महिला प्रवेश करेंगी और देश के होम मिनिस्टर अमित शाह ने केरल जाकर क्या कहा था? नहीं
जाएंगे कमेटी सामने, जाएंगे कि नहीं जाएंगे सर?
हम तो जा ही दे रहे।
क्या आज भी आप मानते हैं वो कमेटी मेंबर्स बायस्ड है?
अब ये हमारे वकील हैं वहाँ।
वैसे आप किसान यूनियन नेता हैं सर।
ये हमारी कारखानी में तय हो चुका था।
So that's a farmer union leader there. Piyush, of course, conveying all the points that are being raised by the CGI in the top court. But the farmer union leader clearly stating that the laws were brought in the parliament by the centre and they must be repealed. Once again, sticking to their hard point, Madhurma, you were making a point. The CGI is now telling the lawyers who are representing the farmer union leaders that it is up to them to convince the farmers, tell them that this committee has been constituted to address their grievances and that they must follow what the Supreme Court has said. But of what we could hear from the farmer union leaders, looks like that too is not cutting ice with them.
Well, absolutely, Kritzween. What we heard from Piyush's side, it entirely reeks of rigidity. You can see that no matter what point you keep in front of them, there is just one single response to every question you keep in front of them, that we did not ask for it, we are not interested in any sort of discussion, and we need the repealment of laws. These are the things they had been repeating no matter whatever argument you keep in front of them. And this has been their stand since day one, where initially they started protesting with just seeking certain amendments. Certainly when those were addressed, it certainly went into the repealment, and then ever since the rigidity persists, Crispin. Now the Supreme Court has come down very heavily on the kind of criticism which it has enthralled from all farmer unions when it comes to the committee. The Supreme Court has made it very categorically. He has conveyed this message that you cannot term anybody biased. You cannot cast aspersions on an integrity of people which are highly qualified and experts in certain committees. The Supreme Court has said that every person has an opinion. Even the highest of judges, the best of judges have an opinion, but that does not make them biased. Now, this has been categorically said by the Supreme Court. Now, this time, it is the farmers, they need to understand that this particular committee does not have any power to make a decision. They cannot pass a judgment, and this is also what Supreme Court has asserted, that the committee cannot pass any judgment. They will just merely take in count observations from all the stakeholders. They'll listen to all their problems and will report it to the Supreme Court, which there will thereon will take a decision at what to be done in the future. So all this really needs